Hello to all my Catholic Family Podcast listeners. I apologize for being gone for so long. This summer, or spring, I suppose, has really hit us pretty hard in a good way. We've been very busy. I'm working a lot, and we've also started up our guest house here in Reitenwinkel, Germany. Anyone wants to come visit us, let me know. It's a beautiful place, and we've been very busy here this summer. Good news, but it also means it's been a bit harder for me to come on here and do podcasts. It's definitely not for lack of wanting to produce more material. It's just literally for lack of time. I do still definitely want to come on here and do more material. Something has opened up a little bit for me in the last few days that I hope it will give me a little bit more time in the coming weeks to produce more content again like we did for the last few months. In that regard, I would like, again, for people, if anyone wants to hear about some certain topic, that really helps me out. That gives me some ideas for what we can talk about. It gives me some inspiration for who I can ask to come on to do a podcast. So if you want to hear about something, go ahead and let me know. I believe some of the best podcasts that we've done have come from your recommendations or your questions, your ideas of something that you might want to hear about. Now, obviously, I'm not an expert in anything, but hopefully I can bring in someone who does have that expertise. If it's in parenting, if it's as coming from a priest regarding the sacraments, the Mass, regarding the difference between Sedevacantism and the SSPX, etc. That's what we want to provide. We want to provide just good Catholic content that you can listen to while you're doing your chores or watching your kids, or maybe when you're driving to Mass one morning. That's really the goal here. Now, for anyone who wants really in-depth coverage, or these things really in detail and really deep, hard topics, go to truerestoration.com. I really can't recommend that enough. You can also find really fantastic sermons at traditionalcatholicsermons.com. Or is it? I think it's traditionalcatholicsermons.org, I believe, actually. I apologize for that. Really incredible sermons from priests from all over the world. True Restoration is also really fantastic content, really great content. Every week, they always have something new, even a couple things new every week. For our podcast, we're a little bit more simple, a little bit more down to earth, a little bit less of this, I don't know. They are the Harvard and we are the community college in terms of traditional Catholic content. But I hope that we do provide something that people can really latch on to and take something from. We don't get everything right. Maybe some things we've said have rubbed people the wrong way. And if that's the case, then that's not obviously what we want. We're not perfect. We're just trying to do our best to provide interesting opinions and provide something that is thought-provoking, something that people can sit at home and think about and think, is this something that we can work on, or is it something that I never thought of before and now I have? That's what we want to do. We want to provide that new thought process for you. Now, that being said, again, this isn't a podcast that I'm going to spend a long time talking about any certain topic. I do want to come up in the next few weeks and hopefully have on a few priests to talk about different topics. Maybe my parents, again, to talk about child rearing. The summer is going to be a little bit lighter in terms of podcasts just because it's busier. And I think that's probably okay, hopefully, for the listeners as well, because I think usually in the summer, kids are home and there's a little less time, a little less opportunity to listen to podcasts. But still, I do hope to do maybe one per week or something. And something that stuck out to me in my time off, I've said this in the past, but I'm working right now with the Deutsche Post, so the German, I'm a German mailman, so I deliver mail to a small town here in the Bavarian Alps. And something that I've really noticed in that job is how important it is how we interact with people. How important it is every word, every smile, everything we say impacts somebody. And it's something that I think that we maybe don't really think about enough. I know I didn't, for certain. When the mailman delivered me the mail, I never thought about, his day. I never thought about, hey, maybe me being nice to him Maybe me giving him a tip, which, yes, I recommend. If you deliver another package, a very heavy package, tip your mailman. That's a side topic. I never did it before, but now I can tell you it's a good thing to do. But we should all really think about that. What is our impact on society? Every single day. Who do we meet? Who do we see? Is it the mailman? Is it UPS? Is it the person at the grocery store? Is it a friend? Is it a family member? What is our impact daily on that person? Because eventually, many people, probably most people, will eventually know that we are Catholic. Even eventually, possibly your mailman. And even if they don't, I guess it doesn't necessarily matter. We should just have a good impact on everyone we meet. We want to let them have a good day, right? I mean, that's just the first thing. We want to help their mood. Why not? Don't you think that's what Christ would want? Don't you think that's what Christ did? Just on the surface of things, nothing deep. A smile, a nice word, $1, €1 to your mailman. It means a lot. Person at the grocery store, say something nice. It seems ridiculous, but that is charity. You don't know what that person is going through. You don't know how that can affect their mood, their day, their life. And that's what Christ wants. And you never know, especially with your friends, your colleagues, your family. They know who you are. They know your faith, eventually, most of them at least. And that should be something that we don't hide from. We shouldn't hide our faith. We shouldn't go to a restaurant and sneak the sign of the cross on our chest so that no one can see it. We shouldn't be afraid when we walk down the street to hold our rosaries proudly in our hands, to speak the words of the Hail Mary loudly so that everyone can hear. It's a weird thing that we as people, as Catholics in this society, think of that as being almost a negative. We're afraid of it. We're scared of what people might think. And first of all, I think that's ridiculous because people around you, I think, typically actually respect it. They respect faith. Maybe they don't act like it. They may not say it, but they do. The world, society, people, no matter who they are, no matter what they say, they respect people who believe in something. And if that something is God, is Mary, is faith, eternity, morality, they will respect that. You may never know it. They may never say it, but they will. It's instinctual. And so we really have to think every single day, every single interaction, we should behave like Christ. And I know this sounds like a sermon. That's not how I intended. I'm not a priest. But it's really struck me because I have a lot of interactions, a lot of tiny interactions every day. I hand someone a letter. I give someone a package. Packages people are usually happy to receive. Letters, not so much because they're usually bills. But how is my interaction with them? How is their interaction with me? And I can tell you for certain, the way they act with me affects me. It affects my mood. It affects my day. Maybe even possibly my week. So how do we act with others? How do we act like Christ? How do we, by every smile, by every word, by every action, bring those around us closer to God? That's what this is all about, right? We're here to get to heaven. We're here to bring our family to heaven. And we're here to bring our neighbor to heaven. And I think that we need to have that as a goal That if it's just by our example, if it's just by being good, why not say God bless to your mailman, right? Why not? Who knows what that means for them? They're not going to turn around and punch you in the face. And if they do, then, well, you're at least suffering for Christ, right? I mean, what do you lose? I think that we're so afraid to proselytize and to preach and to really spread God's word. As Catholics, we've somehow turned that in the last, 50 years, 20 years, 10 years. We think of that as being Protestant, or we think of that as being old-fashioned or strange or weird. It's not. That's why we're here. So if I can give any advice to myself, mostly, again, these podcasts, if I ever do them by myself, it's really a lot of the times talking to myself, hoping that others may take something from it as well. Let's really try to spread goodness, charity, faith, Christ. Take every advantage you can, every chance you can to spread God's word. And I would say even go each month, each week, each day and say, today, this week, this month, I'm going to say or do something to bring anyone else I might meet closer to truth, closer to God, and closer to eternal salvation. Until next time, hopefully again, a podcast, a full podcast with somebody else. I'm Kevin Davis. Please, if you like this channel, subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends, and if you have any suggestions, topics you want to be talked about, please let me know. I know I don't respond to everything. I don't always comment back. It's a busy thing, busy life, but I'll do my best. And I do really consider every single comment I get. I do think about it, even if I don't respond. So you can comment on this YouTube video, or you can send it to me at kevin89davis@gmail.com. God bless.